Let's have an honest conversation, just you and me. Because if you're a woman over 60, you may have noticed that something feels different. Your confidence, your energy, maybe even your intimacy. They're not gone, but they're quieter now, more elusive. What if I told you that part of the reason might be sitting quietly in your pantry right now, masquerading as a healthy snack? Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Perriera. I've spent more than 30 years helping women just like you reclaim their health, their confidence, and their vibrancy through evidence-based compassionate care. And today, I want to talk about something that surprises most of my patients, certain types of nuts that may be quietly undermining your circulation, your hormone balance, and even your natural lubrication. Now, I know that sounds unexpected. Nuts are often praised for being heart-healthy and full of good fats. But not all nuts are created equal, especially when they've been roasted in unhealthy oils, coated in sugar, or consumed in the wrong quantities. Some of these healthy snacks may be disrupting your body's delicate hormonal balance and slowly interfering with your most personal wellness. But here's the good news. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly which 5 nuts to be cautious with, and more importantly, which ones can actually support your vitality. And yes, I'll also reveal the number 1 nut I call the silent hormone disruptor, the one most likely lurking in your kitchen right now. If you find this kind of conversation helpful, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another health tip designed just for women in their 60s and beyond. And if what I share resonates with you, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, type a 0. Your feedback helps me tailor future content just for you. Let's begin with the first nut you'll want to reconsider. Cashews. The sugar-coated trap. Cashews are creamy indulgent and often marketed as a step up from your typical snack. Many of my patients think they're making a smart choice when they reach for cashews instead of cookies or chips. And in theory, raw cashews in moderation can be part of a balanced diet. But the reality, most of the cashews sold in grocery stores are far from their natural state. They're typically roasted in industrial oils like canola, soybean, or sunflower, which are known to promote inflammation throughout the body, especially in the lining of your blood vessels. According to the Cleveland Clinic, chronic inflammation is one of the leading contributors to arterial stiffness, a condition that makes it harder for blood to flow where it's needed, including to the pelvic area. And for women, that's a critical point. Proper arousal and natural lubrication require flexible, healthy blood vessels. When these vessels become inflamed or damaged, sensitivity can fade, and intimacy may become uncomfortable or frustrating. But the problem doesn't stop with the oil. Many popular cashew products come coated in sugar, honey-roasted maple glazed, or cinnamon dusted. Even a small handful can send your blood sugar spiking. Over time, elevated insulin levels can disrupt your estrogen-progesterone balance, especially during and after menopause, as noted by the National Institutes of Health. This hormonal chaos can lead to weight gain around the middle, fatigue, and reduced libido. I remember one patient, Carol, a 67-year-old retired nurse, who came to me puzzled. I gave up ice cream and cookies. She said I thought these nuts were healthy. But when we reviewed her labs, we saw high inflammatory markers and signs of hormonal imbalance. When she replaced the flavored cashews with healthier options, she noticed improvements in both energy and natural lubrication within weeks. Even unsweetened, dry-roasted cashews aren't innocent. The high heat used in the roasting process oxidizes the fats inside, damaging the very nutrients that were supposed to be helpful. This process contributes to endothelial damage, the kind that, according to the American Heart Association, often precedes cardiovascular disease. So do you have to give up cashews entirely? Not necessarily. If you find raw, organic, unsalted cashews without added oils or sugar, you can enjoy them occasionally. But for women over 60 concerned with blood flow and hormone health, they should never be your go-to nut. And if cashews are this problematic, the next nut on our list might shock you even more. Peanuts, the silent hormone disruptor. Let's clear something up. Peanuts aren't actually nuts. They're legumes. And while they're a staple in pantries across the US, peanuts and peanut products come with some hidden baggage, especially for women in midlife and beyond. Peanuts are highly susceptible to contamination by aflatoxins, toxic molds, that grow in warm, humid storage environments. These toxins are invisible and tasteless, but according to the US Food and Drug Administration, they can strain your liver and contribute to systemic inflammation. Inflammation, again, is the silent enemy. When your vascular system is under constant inflammatory stress, it becomes less efficient at transporting blood, especially to smaller arteries like those that support vaginal sensitivity and lubrication. This may help explain why intimacy becomes more difficult or less satisfying, even when nothing else in your life has changed. And it's not just aflatoxins. Peanuts are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. While some omega-6s are necessary for health, the average American diet is far too rich in them and too low in anti-inflammatory omega-3s. This imbalance promotes chronic inflammation, which not only affects your joints and energy levels, but also disrupts hormonal regulation, particularly your body's ability to respond to estrogen and progesterone shifts. Most commercial peanut butters add insult to injury by including added sugars, hydrogenated oils, and emulsifiers. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, hydrogenated oils are a source of trans fats that impair blood vessel health and may increase the risk of heart disease. And remember, your sensual health is directly tied to circulation. I've had many patients tell me, "I eat peanut butter every day, it's my comfort food." But when we examine their diet and remove peanuts, they start to see changes. Their energy improves, their waistlines shrink, and their sense of vitality often returns. Peanuts also contain phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen. While that may sound helpful, excess phytoestrogens can interfere with your natural hormone balance, especially after menopause. This interference can lead to mood swings, low libido, and an overall sense of hormonal instability. So yes, while peanuts may seem harmless, they can act as a slow leak in your hormonal foundation. Over time, they chip away at your vitality, not dramatically, but persistently. And for women who want to feel more alive and connected, that's a cost too high to ignore. The next nut on our list has a luxurious image, but it may be quietly contributing to cholesterol buildup and sluggish blood flow right when you need it most. Let's move on to our third culprit, macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts. The hidden cholesterol trap. Macadamia nuts are often considered a luxury. They're buttery smooth and marketed as heart-healthy thanks to their high content of monounsaturated fats, similar to those found in olive oil. You'll see them in gourmet snack mixes, break down into pro-inflammatory compounds when exposed to heat. According to research from the National Library of Medicine, oxidized fats contribute to arterial damage, including the endothelium, the thin lining inside your blood vessels. Here's why that matters. The blood vessels responsible for female arousal, especially those supplying the clitoris and vaginal walls, are among the smallest in the body. That makes them particularly vulnerable to early narrowing and stiffness caused by inflammation and plaque buildup. Often women don't realize that vaginal dryness or difficulty with arousal may be one of the earliest warning signs of vascular decline, not just aging. Macadamia nuts roasted in oil and coated in salt silently worsen this problem. Excess sodium contributes to elevated blood pressure, which further restricts blood flow. The American Heart Association warns that older adults, especially those with any cardiovascular concerns, should strictly monitor their sodium intake. Yet a small handful of salted roasted nuts can easily contain 150–300 milligrams of sodium, nearly 20% of your daily recommended limit. One of my patients, Susan, a vibrant 72-year-old, who had recently started eating macadamia nuts each evening to support her cholesterol, came to me frustrated by her declining energy and increased dryness. When we reviewed her diet, it became clear that the roasted salted nuts she thought were helpful were contributing to a hidden cycle of inflammation and circulatory dysfunction. We swapped them for raw, unsalted walnuts, and within a month, she began reporting more energy, greater comfort, and even improved blood pressure readings. So should you avoid macadamia nuts entirely? Not necessarily, but preparation matters. If you do enjoy them, stick to raw, unsalted varieties and limit them to small portions. And if you're already managing high blood pressure or experiencing changes in intimacy, they're likely not the best choice. Now let's talk about a nut that's often celebrated as a superfood, but can cause more harm than good if consumed regularly. It has to do with a single mineral, selenium, and the dangerous way it can accumulate in your system without you even knowing. Brazil nuts. The selenium time bomb. Brazil nuts are nutritional powerhouses. Just one or two contain more than 100% of your daily selenium requirement, a mineral critical for immune function, thyroid support, and antioxidant activity. That sounds like a great thing, especially as we age and need to support our endocrine system. But here's the problem: too much selenium can be toxic. Unlike some nutrients that the body can flush out, selenium builds up. According to the National Institutes of Health, the tolerable upper limit for selenium is 400 micrograms per day. A single Brazil nut can contain as much as 90 micrograms. That means just 4 nuts a day could push you well into the toxic range. Selenium toxicity, known as selenosis, doesn't always show up in obvious ways. It might start with fatigue, irritability, or hair thinning. But deeper down, your thyroid may be quietly taking a hit. And for postmenopausal women, that's serious. Your thyroid plays a central role in regulating metabolism, mood, and hormonal balance. When it's overburdened by too much selenium, it can slow down, leading to hypothyroidism, a condition that can sap your energy, dull your libido, and make intimacy feel like a chore rather than a joy. Barbara, a 63-year-old retired schoolteacher, came to me after adding 4 Brazil nuts a day to her diet based on a well-meaning blog post about thyroid health. Within 2 months, she felt drained. Her lab results showed sluggish thyroid function and signs of hormone imbalance. Once we removed the Brazil nuts and gave her thyroid a chance to recover, her energy returned, and so did her spark. Selenium is not the enemy, it's essential in small doses. But with Brazil nuts, the margin between helpful and harmful is razor thin. Most women over 60 are better off getting selenium from a multivitamin or a balanced diet that includes fish eggs and whole grains, where the amounts are safer and more controlled. So if you've been eating Brazil nuts every day, thinking you're doing your thyroid a favor, it may be time to reconsider. 1 or 2 per week is generally safe for most women, but daily consumption may quietly drag your hormonal system into imbalance. And finally, let's talk about what I consider the most deceptive category of all. Not a single nut, but a whole group of them dressed up in shiny packages and marketed with fun flavors that hide what's really going on inside your body. Flavored mixed nuts, hormone killers in disguise. You've seen them in vending machines, grocery aisles, even in healthy snack bins. Flavored mixed nuts labeled as honey-roasted smoky barbecue or sweet heat feel like a fun, protein-rich treat. But for women over 60, they may be doing more damage than any snack in your pantry. Here's why. These mixes are often soaked in a combination of inflammatory oils, sugar salt, and chemical preservatives. According to the Mayo Clinic diets, high in processed seed oils and added sugars contribute directly to insulin resistance, inflammation, and cardiovascular strain, all of which interfere with the healthy circulation necessary for arousal and comfort during intimacy. The oils used, typically canola, soybean, or corn, are high in omega-6 fats. When consumed in excess, they disrupt your body's natural anti-inflammatory balance, increasing the risk of arterial stiffness. Combine that with 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium per serving, and you've created the perfect storm-high blood pressure, reduced blood flow, and increased stress on your vascular system. It doesn't stop there. Many of these snacks contain additives like TBHQ, BHT, and artificial flavorings such as smoke essence or MSG. These ingredients are not designed with your hormones in mind. Some studies suggest they may interfere with your endocrine system, especially when consumed regularly. And then there's the sugar coatings that sound harmless, like maple or honey glazed. These spike your blood glucose levels, which damages sensitive nerve endings and alters hormone regulation. According to Johns Hopkins, medicine-elevated blood sugar over time contributes to reduced nerve sensitivity and dryness in intimate areas. The decline isn't always dramatic, it's gradual. Day by day, you feel a little less interested, a little more fatigued, and less like yourself. I've seen many women blame this on aging, when in fact their snacks were part of the problem. One woman, Denise, told me she had replaced her dessert habit with flavored nuts while watching TV. But her blood pressure was up, her energy was down, and intimacy had become more frustrating than fulfilling. Once we cut out the flavored nuts and brought in raw, nutrient-rich alternatives, she noticed the difference fast. So here's the truth. Flavored mixed nuts are not harmless. They are concentrated packets of inflammation, hormonal chaos, and circulatory stress. If you care about your body's ability to feel, connect, and respond, these are snacks to avoid. Now that we've covered the 5 worst offenders, it's time to shift focus. Because this isn't just about what not to eat. In the next part, we'll talk about the best nuts for women over 60, nutrient-rich options that can enhance circulation, support hormones, and help you feel more like yourself again. Now that we've cleared the pantry of those unhelpful, hormone-disrupting nuts, let's focus on something far more empowering, the ones that support you. The nuts that nourish your circulation, protect your hormones, and gently guide your body toward vitality, without drama, without risk. As a physician who's walked alongside thousands of women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I want to assure you, your body still has remarkable potential for energy, intimacy, and wellness. You simply need to give it the right tools. And some of those tools, they come in the form of the right kind of nuts. Let's start with one of my all-time favorites for good reason. Walnuts, the circulation supporter. If you could only add one nut to your daily routine, I'd suggest walnuts. Why? Because they're rich in an amino acid called L-arginine. Your body uses L-arginine to produce nitric oxide, a compound essential for dilating blood vessels and allowing smooth, unrestricted blood flow. According to studies published by the National Institutes of Health, nitric oxide plays a key role in arousal and lubrication. When it's flowing, so is your blood, and with it, oxygen and nutrients. This helps create the sensitivity and responsiveness you need to feel present and alive during intimacy. A small handful of raw, unsalted walnuts each day, about 7 halves, is enough to provide a powerful vascular benefit without overwhelming your system with calories or fat. But walnuts don't just help your heart and blood flow. They're also packed with plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, which counterbalance the inflammatory effects of omega-6s found in many processed snacks. Omega-3s are known to help stabilize mood, support memory, and ease joint discomfort, all critical pieces in helping you feel more vibrant. One of my patients, Ellen, began incorporating walnuts into her breakfast, a few sprinkled over Greek yogurt and berries. Within weeks, she reported more energy in the morning, less dryness, and a new sense of inner wakefulness, as she put it. It's a simple change, but a meaningful one. Almonds, the hormone stabilizers. Next on my list, raw almonds. These little powerhouses are loaded with vitamin E, magnesium, and zinc nutrients that play a vital role in hormonal health and nerve function. Vitamin E, in particular, is crucial as we age. According to Harvard Health Publishing, it helps maintain the health of the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, and supports nitric oxide production, much like walnuts. Magnesium is another key player. It helps regulate cortisol, your stress hormone, which in turn allows your sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone to function more efficiently. When cortisol is chronically high, your body shifts resources away from reproductive hormone production, leading to fatigue, weight gain, and low libido. Almonds help rebalance that equation, and zinc supports immune function and plays a subtle but important role in estrogen metabolism. Postmenopausal women tend to have lower zinc levels, and bringing those levels up can help support mood and hormone balance. I often recommend 12-15 raw, unsalted almonds as a mid-morning snack. They're filling without being heavy and can help keep your blood sugar steady, a big plus for hormone regulation. The key again is raw and unprocessed. Roasted almonds, especially those with added salt or flavorings, tend to cancel out many of these benefits. Pistachios, the sexual function boosters. Now here's a nut that surprises many of my patients: pistachios. Beyond being tasty and fun to eat, they may actually support sexual function clinically. In a small but compelling study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research, men who consumed pistachios daily for 3 weeks experienced measurable improvements in erectile function, blood flow, and satisfaction. While the study focused on men, the vascular benefits apply to women too. That's because pistachios are rich in antioxidants, including lutein and gamma-tocopherol, as well as the amino acid arginine. These compounds promote vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels, which improves circulation to all areas of the body, including those related to intimacy. I recommend choosing unsalted in-shell pistachios when possible. The act of shelling them naturally slows you down, which helps with portion control. A small handful, about 1 ounce, is all it takes to reap the circulatory benefits. Pistachios are also one of the few nuts that are lower in fat and calories, making them a good choice if you're watching your weight or managing cholesterol. They're satisfying without being heavy, and they pair beautifully with fruit or dark chocolate for a healthy dessert. A note on preparation: raw, unsalted, and natural. As we've seen, the health value of nuts can be completely undone by how they're prepared. Roasting at high temperatures damages the healthy fats, while added salt, sugar, or oils introduce inflammatory and hormone-disrupting elements. The best choice is raw, organic, unsalted nuts. You'll often find these in the refrigerated section of natural food stores or in sealed bags labeled raw. If you prefer a roasted flavor, try gently toasting them yourself at home on low heat without oil. And remember, moderation matters. Nuts are calorie-dense, and while their fats are healthy, too much of a good thing can still add up. Stick to one small handful, about 1 ounce per day. The mind-body connection. This conversation isn't just about nutrients and blood flow. It's about something deeper: reclaiming your sense of agency over your body. When you choose foods that support your vitality, you send a message to your body and your mind that you are still invested in your pleasure, your health, and your joy. Many of my patients have shared that after swapping out harmful nuts for these beneficial ones, they didn't just feel physically better. They felt emotionally stronger, more connected to themselves, and more confident in their relationships. It's a ripple effect. Better blood flow leads to better sensation. Balanced hormones support stable mood and interest. That foundation creates space for trust, intimacy, and fulfillment, no matter your age. A quick recap before we close. This chapter, let's review the top 3 nuts I recommend for women over 60. 1. Walnuts. rich in L-arginine and omega-3s for circulation and anti-inflammatory support. 2. Raw almonds, packed with vitamin E, magnesium, and zinc for hormone balance and nerve function. 3. Pistachios, support vascular function, nitric oxide production, and antioxidant protection. Each of these can be part of your daily routine, supporting not just your heart and brain, but your intimacy, your energy, and your overall sense of vitality. In our final segment, I'll offer a physical touch. It's about connection. With your partner, yes, but just as importantly with yourself. And when your body doesn't feel the way it used to, when dryness, fatigue, or discomfort creep in, it's easy to start pulling away, even from the person in the mirror. But I want to tell you something from the heart. As a physician who has walked this path with women for over 3 decades, you are not broken. You are not past your prime. And you are certainly not alone. Many women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond tell me they feel as though a part of them has gone quiet. And often they've been told that this is just how it is now. That hormonal shifts, aging arteries, and changes in sensitivity are things they simply have to accept. I don't believe that. I've seen what happens when women are given the right information, when they start feeding their bodies nutrients that promote blood flow, reduce inflammation, and support hormonal balance. I've seen natural lubrication return. I've seen confidence grow. I've seen couples reconnect in ways they thought were lost to time. And it rarely starts with a prescription. It starts with a small, simple choice, like replacing flavored mixed nuts with raw walnuts, like trading peanut butter for a few raw almonds. These choices may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time they build the foundation for renewal. It's easy to forget this. Your body is still listening. Even now. Even after menopause. Even if it's been years since you felt truly sensual or deeply connected to your physical self. With the right care, gentle, consistent nourishment, your body can still respond. Blood flow can improve. Sensitivity can return. Hormones can find their rhythm again. This isn't wishful thinking. It's science-backed, it's observed in clinical practice, and it's within your reach. So if you're sitting here thinking, is it too late for me? The answer is no. It's not too late. Not at all. I once worked with a patient named Maria, 74 years old, who came into my office feeling discouraged. She had slowly withdrawn from her partner, not because she didn't love him, but because she felt uncomfortable in her body. She had tried hormone creams in the past, but didn't like the side effects. What she really wanted was to feel natural again, to feel like herself. We started small. We reviewed her diet and removed the highly processed snacks. We added in raw almonds and walnuts. We boosted hydration and added gentle pelvic floor exercises. Within 3 months, Maria walked back into my office with tears in her eyes, not from sadness, but relief. I didn't know I could still feel this way, she said. I thought that part of my life was over. It wasn't. And it doesn't have to be for you either. While our focus today has been on nuts and their impact on circulation and hormone health, the deeper message is about the power of your choices. The foods you eat, the way you move, how you care for your body, these are daily affirmations of your worth, your vitality, and your right to feel pleasure, connection, and energy. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Start small. Replace one snack. Choose one better option. Then build from there. These are not just nutritional upgrades, they're personal acts of healing. And as you begin to feel stronger, clearer, and more present in your own skin, that change will ripple into every area of your life, from your relationships, to your sleep, to your confidence in the mirror. Here's what I encourage you to take with you. Avoid heavily processed nuts like sugar-coated cashews, flavored mixed nuts, oil-roasted macadamias, peanuts, and excess Brazil nuts. Embrace natural options, raw walnuts, almonds, and pistachios. Be mindful of portion sizes, preparation methods, and ingredient labels. Pay attention to how your body responds, because it's always communicating with you. And most importantly, remember that your health is not something that happens to you. It's something you actively shape every single day. You deserve to feel connected to your body, not in the way you did at 25, but in a new, deeper, more powerful way that reflects the wisdom, strength, and life experience you've earned. As we wrap up this conversation, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I know these topics can feel sensitive or even uncomfortable, but your willingness to listen, to reflect, to act, that is where true transformation begins. You are not alone on this journey. There is a whole community of women out there navigating these same questions, challenges, and hopes. And there are tools, insights, and resources available to help you feel better, not just in your body, but in your spirit. So if today's message resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with a friend, a sister, or anyone you know who might need to hear it. And if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe for more empowering, research-backed insights tailored to women over 60. Because you deserve health that's not just functional, but joyful. You deserve intimacy that isn't just possible, but deeply fulfilling. And you deserve to feel fully alive, fully connected, and fully you in this beautiful chapter of life. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.